welcome to the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. I'm your host today, Nettlecreates. Hey, and I am joined as per usual by the lovely Bendy.
That's me,
That's
I'm
you.
Bendy. I've realised for the last 3 episodes we haven't said that we're idiots. I'm the Admiral Idiot. Pleased to meet you.
I'm the General Idiot, and then Tempusbe down here.
Hello.
He's the Marshal Idiot.
I'm the Martian Idiot.
He is the Marshal Idiot.
I'm the idiot of the skies.
So how are we doing?
Idiots on land, we got idiots on the sea, and idiots in the sky.
And you know what else? We're all idiots on the internet.
How are you guys doing? How's your week been?
What's this?
I was signalling for you to answer first, as you're above me.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Wasn't grabbing
it
boob.
happened.
It happened. That's
Good start.
Yep.
Week happened. I mean, it's Wednesday. We're recording on a Wednesday, and I would like this week to be done.
Nearly there. Nearly.
Tempus?
Tempus. Scratch his head.
Yes. That would get you many things. I am okay, thank you. It's been an average week.
Has. Okay, fair enough. Well, that was a useless question.
So what
Shall we liaise into what we've been playing this week?
Right.
Me? What have I been doing? So we had Road Race in Destiny, which was always fun to watch. Nearly buying a house. Oh God, how grown up is that? Nearly
Only
there.
nearly.
Only nearly.
Adult.
Very adult. Yeah. And we had our publisher at work came in, which was fun. I've never been more... No, that's a lie. I have been more stressed in my life. This one was just particularly like, oh God, they're going to ask me questions. Do I know the answers? Probably not. I'm just a producer.
That's how I feel when we do this.
Same. Hard. Same.
Anyway, shall we segue into what we've been playing this week? Because that might make us sound a bit better. Probably not, I don't know. Bendy, go first.
Like an actual gaming podcast. Well, do you know what? It's no different from last week. Played a bit of Borderlands, and I played Majora's Mask and Cyberpunk.
Fair enough.
Done another ending of Cyberpunk. You know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with that game. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And I got home from the cinema on Saturday after watching The Batman, and I just sat and I played for it for like a good 5 hours. So I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
But Majora's Mask, best game ever made. So I'm enjoying playing that again.
I didn't hear any Skyward Sword in that list.
Skyward Sword has been dumped.
Yeah, Skyward Sword has been dumped for Majora's Mask.
Well, you would too.
I mean, I've never played either, so...
It's way better looking brother. So
we're going there. That's where we're going, is it?
Sibling.
Majora's Mask can drive. I see.
Majora's Mask takes me out to the cinema to watch the Batman. Do you see Skyward Sword doing that? No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Skyward Sword takes you to watch Peppa Pig movie.
While also feeding you the Peppa Pigs that you can get from, or the Percy Pigs that you can get from Marks and Spencer's.
M&S.
So yeah.
I mean, at least they shop at M&S.
I hate them.
Other supermarkets are available.
Yes, we're not sponsored by M&S. This is not a hashtag
if you
ad.
want to sponsor us, M&S, please do.
Yes.
Anyway,
this is not a normal podcast. This is a potential M&S podcast.
Oh God,
name.
we're gonna get sued.
There's the name of this podcast.
I am not
Allegedly.
getting sued by M&S. No.
We haven't got money to give M&S.
In my opinion. Allegedly, in my opinion.
Allegedly, in my opinion. Fair enough. Tempus, what have you been playing this week?
Well, let's see. This week we did some more heisting on GTA 5 Online. Did it on stream. Kind of got weirded out when all of a sudden about 60 people showed up in my stream stop spamming invites in capitals, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Luckily enough, someone messaged to explain what was happening. It's a thing that's been going on for a couple of weeks where someone will look through who's streaming GTA 5, and they will change their name on the Rockstar site to that streamer's name, and they just spam invites, and people will go and watch. It's not like a malicious thing because no one says anything bad or anything like that. But because I didn't know what was going on, panicked. Everything went on in only chats and subscriber only chat or whatever, just to make sure we was all okay. And I ended it. I mean, we had a couple of hours, so it weren't too bad.
Stream,
But
that is, by the way.
Huh?
The stream that he ended.
Yeah.
I ended it.
I ended it.
GTA. It's done.
Yeah, there's
Never
no more
again.
GTA Online now because someone trolled me.
It's your own fault.
but-
Shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but apparently it's something that's been going around for a couple of weeks, and it's like, yeah, there was nothing horrible said or anything. It's just because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I kind of did what I felt was best, because I mean, I was sitting there with like 70 odd viewers, and I was like, where have these viewers come from? What is going on? And then all of a sudden they started doing the thing or whatever. But it seems to be, it's just one of them, almost like one of them Reddit movements, if you know what I mean. It's like, but yeah, that was fun. We carried on playing after that anyway, so it didn't really matter. I'm thankful that someone did actually message though, because I was quite concerned that I'd been hacked or something in the game. But if it's easy for someone to just have the same username as you, it seems a bit off. Rockstar.
Rockstar, yeah, you fuckers.
My usual overwatching, why not? And yesterday I did play finally a little bit of that is it Changing Sails?
Changing Tides, one of the ones, yeah.
Changing Tides, something like that, I think it's called. Changing Tides, I think it is. I only played for like about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just to kind of dip my feet in and see what it was like, because I hadn't played the first one. But I mean, from what I've played of it so far, it seems quite. It's very much one of those just chill games. You're literally micromanaging a boat.
Okay.
You're stopping to get materials and things like that, and you have to put your sails down or bring them in, like to catch the wind and to not break them on things. Because if they bash into stuff, they then break, and you have to fix them. But like, I was expecting to be on this boat this whole time, and I'd got to this bit where I'm actually raised up, and then I'm controlling a train. So I'm not sure where else this is going to go. But you know, the music was quite chilled. The artwork of it looks quite nice. I'll definitely go back and play it. But that was released brand new last week, and it's on the Game Pass as well. So might be worth checking out if that's your kind of thing. Like just a nice. It doesn't look like there's anything. Like from what I've got so far, there's anything like overly challenging or like any fighting or anything like that. You're literally just micromanaging this boat from one end to the other. But yeah,
cool.
That was me.
Was it quite a chill one? Like, is it quite?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There was like zero stress to it.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's the decompression game.
That's got Nettle written all over it.
Yeah, love me a decompression game.
What did you just say? Just more anxiety. Just always games that give you anxiety.
Well, funnily enough, coming on to me, and what I play this week. So I have been very boring, really, and most of my week has been taken up playing Destiny 2. Still going strong. There's still new content coming in week after
Don't
week.
believe you.
Really? Like I said, we had the raid.
Hashtag let.
Hashtag now play Destiny 2.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, as I said, on the weekend we had what is worldwide known as a world's first raid race, which is when the new raid comes out, and a bunch of teams all over the world, loads and loads, everybody can take part, but generally speaking, it's only really going to be like the big streamers that get this, because they're the only ones that can grind to get the power level and like the techniques and what weapons need to be done. But it's great to watch. It's basically like bunch of teams, you get all of them up on Twitch and you're watching who goes there, and of course one team will go in front and everybody goes to watch them, and then somebody else will go in front, and it's just watching out who was who and what happened. Bit of unfortunately there were some server issues right as the race began, so some of the teams had a bit of an issue of kept getting kicked out, which was a bit like but I think it evened out in the end, and anybody that was really in with a chance to win caught up, but they just weren't good enough. But yeah, it was great to watch. Can't wait to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not here this weekend, which is when I usually do it with my raid team, but what can you do? So it's a next week. It's going to be a next weekend that I attempt that, and I'm really looking forward to it, because their boss, that's like the end boss, is one of the... Now I'm going to say it's the best boss. It's the best boss that we've ever had in a raid. Ever. They don't... So, Bendy, you might know this.
Down.
Hands down. You might know this. Obviously, Destiny is known for having a stomp mechanic. Their bosses just go... and you go... Badoing and get smacked. Well, they've taken the stomp mechanic out of the end boss for this, and instead he has a kick mechanic, and it's the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen. He will literally just walk up to you and go... Yay! And you just... Brilliant.
Top ins.
Love it.
Cheers.
Just ratio this, bang. But yeah, that's great. But the one I did manage to play one new game, and it was one of the, I have to say, it's a really good game. I am going to caveat that it's a good game, but it made me feel so anxious and unnerved that I could not play more than like a couple of hours or an hour and a half or something at the time. I played Alice Madness Returns, which is obviously one of somebody's favourites.
Games, fucking love that game. It's so good. So where did you get to? Like, because we were talking about this last night, obviously.
Where are you? I'm still in the steampunk land version of it. Quite like not hugely far into it, but like a decent way in. I kept getting killed, which is one of my criticisms of why I got killed. It's one of my criticisms, but it's visually very striking. I think the graphics still hold up very well. It came out in like 2011 or something like that, and it still holds up quite well today. It's a very unnerving story. Like, it's Alice, but it's to the extreme. Like this. Yeah, I know. This is it. Very much gone down the realms of Alice's mentally unhinged, basically. Like, it's seriously. So I will say, if you do have some quite bad mental issues with regards to psychosis and anything like that, it's probably not the game for you, because I think it will trigger you. Yeah. But if that's not a problem, I would definitely say give it a go, because it's a good game. My only two criticisms, and one of the criticisms comes from one of the other, but my biggest criticism is the PC port is trash. EA have done a bad job of it. It's not good. It's really not good. The keyboard controls do not work properly. And obviously I'm going to, when...
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to go back, when I go back into play it, I will put my controller in, because the keyboard, it just doesn't work. And the other criticism I had was in combat. It's good combat, it's fun, but they have this slow down mechanic from when the enemies are about to do like their big lunge attack at you. And you're meant to be able to like dash into a load of butterflies and kind of it doesn't work on keyboard. You press it, you dash, but you've been hit before you've been like able to dash away. So yeah. So that's really my only criticism.
I played it on 360.
Yeah.
I played it on 360, so I only played it on a controller. Yeah. But I can understand. I can't see how that would translate to a bouncing keyboard. How the controls work. So I mean, I get why it just wouldn't work.
It's got stuff like the way you aim at an enemy is caps lock, and it's just like, what? No, that's not. No, please don't. And
Did you not change the
So you probably can remap. The problem is it's quite an old game, so it might not be possible. But even if it was, it's just like there are so many different controls for the game that you'd be overlapping something else, and it would just be a nightmare. So I was going to say it's free on Game Pass. It's the EA Game Pass crossover. So give it a go. It's a good game. It really is a good game. Be prepared for some harrowing moments, but
play with on console
controller
because that's the
console,
best experience I think you'll get for it. It's don't expect going into it thinking it's an Alice game and it will be like Alice in Wonderland.
Like
it
Disneyland, Alice in Wonderland. It's not.
Don't play Alice because that game is sweaty. That did not age well. The controls in that are even worse, but they are working. They're working on Alice Asylum.
Yes, which is a prequel, isn't it?
So excited. Yeah, so there's like a bit later on you'll see where they will be in that. But again, they will be very much focusing on very hard-hitting mental health issues, which I personally think is good.
It's good to get it out and talk about it.
That the medium can, being able to use video games as a medium for actually start talking about your mental health is something that's really sort of like passionate to me, and I think that's why I like Alice Madness Returns so much, because I hadn't really played anything at that point that was like, actually you're talking about like survivor's guilt and psychosis and asylums in Victorian era and stuff, and it's just, and also it's Victorian, which is just my aesthetic. I am Victorian goth.
Yeah, but there are like the first cutscene. It's just unnerving. It will upset people if they're not prepared for it. You know, it's not a child's game. It's not like this cutesy thing. It is very hard hitting, and it will make you uncomfortable. But it's meant to, because it's meant to broach something that's uncomfortable, so that it feels like you know you can talk to people about it. And I think that is a thing. These games do bring it into the thing that, oh my god, I feel uncomfortable. Why am I feeling uncomfortable about this? This is normal. I should be, this is something that happens. I should be talking to people about that. It's fine.
You notice there's more and more games coming out that branch into these kind of things now. Like you look at Hellblade.
Yeah.
It was very big for that. But like
Psychonauts.
Yeah, there's a lot of games now that are kind of leaning into that, knowing full well that there are people out there that obviously what's the word I'm thinking of, like connect with it, if you know what I mean. So and I think it's kind of helpful for people that kind of don't necessarily deal with these kind of situations but are around people that might have that. It might give them like that little bit of understanding of what someone's going through. It might change their perspective a little bit as well.
Yeah, it just shows that video games are more than what people think. Like, I still think there's a stigma of, sweaty guys in basements playing FPSs, when actually there are so many stories out there that are real hard-hitting and real poignant, like Hellblade, and talk about subjects that nobody wants to talk about, but actually we're moving into that kind of time where we are getting more comfortable talking about these things. And as you said, Tempus, this will help people actually open up and understand things. So, video games, great. Alice Madness Returns, great.
Get it.
Well,
play it.
It's that stigma of like, oh my god, video games cause violence and things like that. But like, I'm not being funny. You look at
what causes me violence? People saying that video games cause violence.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing. I find that most of these people that go out and cause trouble and do things like that don't sit at home and play video games. They're out on the streets being stupid. It's like I'm not saying someone hasn't taken it upon themselves to do something crazy after playing a video game. You know, there are people out there doing it. But like probably 90% of the time, the video games are stopping, like they're probably keeping people out of trouble because they're indoors playing a video game.
You could say that same thing about any media.
Yep.
Anything in the world creates violence. There was a time when books created violence, so they burnt them all. There was a time that people did things because of movies. Everything, no, it's people. It's people that cause violence, not the media that they're choosing. If you choose to do violence, you're going to choose to do violence. And now we're a different kind of podcast.
We're just
Don't do violence.
True crime podcast.
Don't do violence.
Don't. Just don't.
I mean, if you want to start a true crime podcast, I am up for it.
For every podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was what we've been playing this week.
Gunge Corps.
That's what we've been playing this week. I'm going to ignore that. And we're going to go on to news. What dickhead has been doing stuff this week, Bendy?
So, resident gaming potato, fucking Bobby Kotick, he's just gone, I didn't do anything wrong. How about Microsoft, you give me $390 billion and I'll just go, what?
I'll write down a figure on this napkin.
Allegations. Okay, right. There's still outstanding allegations of misconduct against this fucking potato. But instead of, getting to the bottom of those, they're just gonna go, here, have
a paycheck
and $90 million and just leave. How about he pays some of that money in compensation to the fucking people that he has hurt and let be hurt under his fucking management, and he's going to go on and do another job elsewhere at some massive company because he came from Coke, went to do his job here, and he's going to go to be a CEO at another fucking company because nobody has taken him to account. Nobody is. I don't think it's right, and I think those poor people that have had to deal with his fucking potato head. I'm sorry, he looks like a potato. It's not the worst thing about him. He's just. Oh, I've got a picture of him on here. He's just
she's about to punch the screen, everybody.
I really am. And next to him is a t-shirt with a cat on it, which is weird. So I'm going to look at the cat.
That's because the cat t-shirt is there to calm you
while
you look at his face.
Yeah, he's a dickhead. We knew this was going to happen, though. We knew that Microsoft would go, have a big paycheck and fuck off so we don't have to deal with you anymore. 390 billion, though. A million, sorry. Fuck off. Take another one, mate. I don't want my money. All of, the 50 cents of it going to him.
It's just too much.
I'm reading a bit of it. It's like...
It's too much.
That the company had worked through the allegations of sexual harassment and discrimination. Have they?
They haven't.
Well.
Have they? Oh, yes, first. I'm even more angry now.
I mean, this kind of coincides with my news.
Shall we transition down to you?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of coincides with my news because we're still talking about the Activision Blizzard lawsuit. And it's just a bit dumbfounded, really, that they violated the California law, which requires a board of at least 6 members to have 3 of them be women by the end of 2021. And even though they had 3 years to do so, they only managed to get 2 women on the board. And their reasoning, because they were making this sale. Did they know they were making this sale 3 years in advance?
Yeah, no, they didn't.
Not.
Absolutely not.
But
It did.
It's not difficult just to... They had 3 years. Are you telling me they couldn't find a single female to add to that board?
I could think of several females who would go on that board and do a better job than any of the fucking idiots that are on there.
But like, it's just a bit. It's a bit silly, isn't it? Really? Oh, we didn't do it because we're doing this sale. But it's like, yeah, but
we're not mixing things up because of the sale, and then fucking what's his face is going to come in from Microsoft and go, well, you should have done this 3 years ago. Let's shake things up a bit. It's like, no, you do it straight away. I know you've got 3 years to do it. You start that recruitment process as soon as you leave that fucking court, mate. And I guarantee they just like held off, and then I was like, shit, we're getting to it. Oh, we're now doing stuff with Microsoft.
Let's make an excuse.
Let's make an excuse.
It is, and it's sidestepping onto the biggest thing that's happening to them as well. They're taking something and going, that's the biggest thing that's happening to us. Let's hope that this other slightly bigger, like less bigger, but still big thing just drops off the level because of it. No, we're still angry about it. We still hate you for it. Just because you're being bought by somebody else and we're happy that you're probably going to get everything fixed because of it doesn't stop you from being the dickheads you were before and not doing what you should have done. You are still absolute assholes for not having women where they need to be.
It's stupid that we're still
the international
even after
day after.
Yes, the day after. But like, it's silly that we're still in this day and age where surely by now it should just not matter. We are equal no matter what. Like, we've been going through this for fucking too long now, and the fact that it's the old school knobs that are still in charge. That's the thing. They can't let go of how things used to be.
Yeah.
They don't want change, and they just won't let sleeping dogs lie. And then when things do get too much, they'll sell it.
I'm not a person who enjoys change. I hate change. I don't like it, right? But if I am told that by law I need to change, I will do every step to do that. And they're probably like, it doesn't just be. I'm not gonna say that because that could go real bad. But just there are multiple women out there. They're just do your due process and hire the best people for the job. At the end of the day, it's not that hard, and compare everyone to the exactly the same standards as well. Tempus, like, don't compare them to your attitude of what you think the video game industry should be. There are so many talented people that get looked over because they don't fit into this stereotype of what gaming should be. And it's like, get fucked, mate. Like, you're going to look over this CV and go, I don't really like that name.
Well, it's funny you say that because actually I was reading a little something. This is going off of gaming a little bit into films. But obviously, Zoe Kravitz, who plays Selena Kyle in the new Batman film, she gave an interview saying that she didn't even get considered for a role in, I think it was Dark Knight Rises, because she wasn't what they were looking for and the word urban was used. So they'd already made their decision.
She did such a
She
good
was
job,
fantastic.
though.
She was fantastic
so
in it.
Good. Like that casting for that movie, excellent.
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Casting
No one was bad in that film.
She was
no one.
And she was brilliant. Like,
yeah.
I was all about her, Selena.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, we'll get back onto games, but that's what I mean. It's like, even in like that kind of thing, she went for a role, but because someone had already stereotyped what that role was, even though she might have done a good job for it, they'd already decided, no, you're not. I'm not even giving you an interview. You know, it's and I guess that's that kind of thing happens everywhere, doesn't it? In every company.
Yeah.
Someone already knows what they're looking for, and they'll probably pass people up until they get what they want, even if the person that they want isn't as good as one of the other candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it's biased perspective.
Just at this point, it just feels like the same shit, different day. It's just like,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, we've had a few weeks where we've not had to talk about this shit, but it just seems to have been all kind of crumpled into one this week. So
it's just stuff keeps coming out. It's like, yeah, they have a few weeks where we don't talk about it, and then something comes out, and then something comes out, and then something, it skyrockets again because of the amount of shit that's still underneath their floorboards. At some point soon, somebody's going to rank the floorboards up, and you're going to see it. So,
I'm going to see that beating heart. I know it was International Women's Day, which is great. Yesterday, but I do feel like you should be shouting people out all the time, and I don't necessarily just mean women. I mean, if there's talent that you have within your business or within your anything, let the world know. I have a real problem with not recognizing achievement. It's not for any reason or anything like that. I'm not bitter. No. But just, I saw some really cool posts yesterday from people about shouting out like the women in their business, and that was cool, but you should just be doing that anyway. You should just be going, well done, you did a great job on a certain project. Like, let's talk to them for a second. I don't know. You shouldn't need a day to shout people out, and I mean everybody.
I think, like, obviously, a lot of people have just latched on to the fact that it was International Women's Day to do this thing, and like what you're saying, it shouldn't take a day to do it. It should just be a natural thing.
So the funny thing about that is Andy was telling me that on Twitter, somebody had made a bot that was going through all the companies that had shouting out Happy International Women's Day, and somehow it was going on to find out what their pay gap between men and women were in that company. The amount of just going down at the amount of tweet unavailable after this bot had called them out was mind-bogglingly horrific and hilarious at the same time. Just like, I love that people want to get on board with this. That's great, but this should be a Happy International Women's Day. Look at all the steps we've taken as a company to make women actually equal in it. Instead, it's Happy International Women's Day, and then we'll cut women out for the rest of the year.
The thing is, with things like that, I understand pay differences, but it should be dependent on your role, not your gender.
Even that, it should be dependent on experience.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's parameters for what your pay should be, from the amount of work you do and such and whether. It should have nothing to do with whether you've got a Richard between your legs or not.
I didn't say the word dick yet today.
Dick.
No, I was being good. I said dick. Richard.
Dick. No. Oh, you expect me to be good tempers. You think too highly of me.
No. We could go
fair,
on
it's
about
the highlight of our podcast.
Dicks. Yeah. We could go on about this for a very long time. We're not going to, because our question for this week is also very rambling. So instead, I'll go on to my news for the week, which is slightly lighter.
Is it please good?
It's slightly lighter news, yeah. It's not anything that anybody can get a bit angry about. Amazon Prime, Lunar Cloud. What?
I'll probably find a way.
Probably. Lunar Cloud, Amazon's streaming service, has officially launched in the US.
Oh.
It's not quite out in the UK yet, but
that's where I'm raging now.
Nah, let them test it. let them find all the bugs and issues with networking first. It's basically Stadia, but it's Amazon's, and if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a bunch of free games. One of them at the moment for the US is Devil May Cry 5, which, it's not my kind of game, but it's a good, decent enough game, I think.
AAA game.
Yeah. So there is a bunch of stuff. The Amazon Prime channel includes Fogs, Devil May Cry 5, Flashback, Observer System Redux, and those will be available until the end of April. And then the new ones that will be introduced are the King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition, Amnesia Rebirth, Tracks Toy Box Edition, and Mortal Shell. And then on March, yesterday, I think Phoenix Rising came up. Immortals Phoenix Rising. So I think basically Ubisoft and Amazon Prime have got a thing going at the moment, and you can get a load of free Ubisoft games.
In seeing that was only available for a week, though.
Yeah. Phoenix Rising is only available for a week.
I mean, if you grind it out.
But if you've got Amazon Prime, it's a free game, even if it is just a week.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the fact that there was literally a Jackbox channel.
Yeah. So that's
every pack available for £3 a month.
Yeah.
Well, $3.
I have a prediction.
Predict away.
What do you think about Amazon buying Ubisoft?
Well, now. I don't think they'll buy Ubisoft. I think they will be their main publisher. Because obviously Amazon have got into publishing games.
Oh, what's funny though is obviously a few weeks back we talked about Netflix starting their own gaming system, and everything we talked about, they were like pretty much fucking mobile games.
Mobile games, yeah.
And then Amazon have just gone Devil May Cry 5.
Yay! But yeah, it is only in the US. But again, as I say, I'm not bothered about that. Let them find the networking issues, and then big country. And then if it comes out in the UK and it's been okay in the US, it's probably going to be okay in the UK because our infrastructure is much better and it's not that far-reaching.
Let's face it. Most of us have Amazon Prime, so
yep.
You know,
I do like the fact that
to use your Twitch sub.
You get a free Twitch sub with Amazon Prime to spend with any of your favourite Twitch streamers, and it doesn't cost you a damn thing.
That's right. I do like the fact that it mentions the fact that it was like the Stadia with the streaming system, but they also pointed out without having to actually buy the games themselves.
Yeah.
Think that. That's what I was going to think. So you don't have to pay $40 for it as well.
Literally just there. It's a true cloud service, which I know Stadia is on the cloud, but you have to buy so much shit, and it's so fucking annoying. Which is why Stadia is basically dead.
But that's the thing. If you're advertising as a streaming service and you're paying a monthly subscription, like, I don't understand. It's like, what am I paying this monthly subscription for if I'm still having to buy the fucking game? I might as well buy the fucking game on one of my other consoles that probably run it better.
Absolutely. I mean, these services are really only for people who maybe only have like a laptop or not quite a good gaming PC or on the move all the time. These are what these services should be trying to get, but they haven't got that. They're trying to get people who already have gaming PCs and good up-to-date consoles. It's a bit like, you're not marketing right, guys. But we'll see with Amazon, because they seem to be going in a slightly better direction than Stadia, but I mean, yeah.
I kind of like the obviously where you were just saying there, it feels like the Steam Deck is doing that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, look, you can play all of your Steam library on this little thing. You can go anywhere with it. It's basically them, and the Switch are like probably well ahead of anything now because of the fact that you can play it on the go. You know, and I know PlayStation have had some trademarks for their own kind of portable thing, but I'd be surprised if we see that anytime soon. I don't even think Microsoft are even considering something like that. So, but I mean, considering the fact that obviously Microsoft, no, it's not Microsoft, is it? Who was shutting down their thing? It was
Google.
Someone was shutting down their game launcher. Bethesda. Yeah, but like, obviously their stuff are all probably going to end up going on the Game Pass.
Mm.
Now, imagine if Xbox just did like a Game Pass pad, something like that. You know, you just you pay for it, you link it to your subscription, and you just have access to the Game Pass. Because the thing with the Game Pass as well is a lot of their stuff is cloud play as well.
Yeah, I mean that has more reaching, like there's more reaching thoughts behind that. Everything that's had to go on things like the Steam Deck and Switch as well. It's the same thing. You have to like the back end of it is very difficult. Games have to be reworked to try and get them on there, but it's doable.
Yeah,
bit more money, send it to the bit more money over to the developers, and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
bit more time as well, but
I mean, I can't see, especially Sony as well. I can't see them ever stopping just doing a PlayStation, doing what like Nintendo have done, where their console is basically a 2-in-1. Because I think they pride themselves on the hardware inside it and how well everything looks, and I just don't think you're ever going to get, probably without it being some clunky thing, that kind of level of workmanship in a portable pad. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. But you know, I think it's bringing it back full circle. I think it's quite interesting, considering, to be honest with you, I knew of the Netflix stuff. I had no idea Amazon was doing this. This was the first I'd actually heard of it.
I heard of it a little while ago, but it went quite quiet. Mind you, I think it went quite quiet because they then branched out into actually publishing games. So.
Yeah, but it kind of, the fact that we laughed at Netflix when they did it, when they were going, oh, we're going to launch into gaming, and then Amazon have just basically turned around and said, well, we've done it. And the fact that you're getting Devil May Cry and what was it, Devil May Cry? I think it was a GTA on there or something, or a Forza.
Yeah,
I think it might be the Forza.
Yeah.
And like even, what is it? The Phoenix Rising one. They're not just little tiny, even indie games. They're like AAA games. So they must be able to run them pretty well, because I'd imagine they've done some pretty intensive testing, especially the fact. Well, I mean, they're still in their testing phase, I imagine, aren't they? Because they've only just released it to the US. But they must be confident with something to have gone, right, there you go, play Devil May Cry. Because I think the guy in that article that you shared, he said it was like one click and he was playing Devil May Cry 5 at 1080p.
Yeah, so this is he has caveated what he said with the fact that he's in the heart of Silicon Valley. He has really good fiber internet, so he's the best case scenario. But he said latency wasn't really a problem. It feels like it's going to be a good piece of like software for everyone to play games on. He actually described it as, what he said, Luna works worryingly well. Well, this is the death of a console.
Yeah.
It is, Bendy. It is. If these services get going, this is death of a console. They don't cost that much to actually like host.
That's the thing. Your point, but you're still gonna have consoles though, because you're gonna have your exclusives, aren't you? So you're still gonna have.
I mean, that's a different question, really, isn't it? It's going on to a bigger topic of consoles overall. If they're losing out, are they really going to keep with the exclusives?
But maybe not necessarily losing the consoles, but if they manage to get streaming AAA games like very, very well, that's probably physical games just gone. You don't need them anymore. Everything could be downloaded or streamed.
Which is better for the environment.
Oh, it very much isn't. To be honest, I think that's the way it's going anyway. Most people, most developers don't think about a physical edition unless it's a special edition. Like the collector's edition is the only thing. And even then, they're starting to phase out physical copies of the games in favor of just the codes, even with the physical edition. So there is a certain publisher who specializes in putting games that only ever came out on as a downloadable code onto a CD. But it's like that thing that vinyl went out of favor, and now it's just basically people collect it to be a bit special with it. It's not like people don't generally buy vinyls to listen to music. That is what the video game
thrown away. They are.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not owned like a physical piece of music for maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
Everything I've had has been like streamed pretty much.
But what this does do is, if you do own a console, like you still own your Xbox One, you still own your PS4, are Amazon going to make a deal with Sony and Xbox that this streaming service can be playable on these consoles? You will never have to update your console ever again.
You already have the app anyway. You already have. I watch my Amazon through my Xbox.
Yeah,
always do.
He said he connected his wireless Xbox controller to it. So does that mean it was like if he's able to Bluetooth his controller to his TV?
That's probably he's either playing on his PC or through the Google Fire Stick, whatever it's called.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it works this well, you just buy a Fire Stick. You don't have big consoles sitting in your living room anymore. It's a little Fire Stick and a controller.
And
you're playing
substantially cheaper, like so much cheaper.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't. That's the thing. If you're not paying out like £500 for a console, I mean, I know. Bear in mind, it's been what, like 7 years since the between generations.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So it's not like they're bringing them out every year, but still, that's like, would you rather, like, if you look at it in the long run, especially with the fact that a lot of people can't afford these big consoles, like have to pay all that money for consoles, the fact that you can pay your Prime subscription and it's going to cost you like 30 quid for a Fire Stick, and you not even necessarily have to get like the best controller, but even still, you can get them on sale. So say another 30 quid for £60 plus your monthly subscription.
I mean, for that sort of money, I would buy something that links up to PlayStation.
Yeah.
If they start streaming PlayStation exclusives on a thingy, I'm down. I'm like, yeah, give it.
And this is the big biting question. It's obviously that Amazon was the main topic of this news, but the success of this, does that just mean why would people like Xbox and PlayStation, when they've already both said they make losses on these consoles every sale, why would they fucking do it? Why wouldn't they just bring out a streaming service?
The next generation won't be. If the streaming service works that well and you can get everything you need, I don't think the next console generation will happen. You'll probably get a Nintendo. You'll get some kind of new Nintendo, because inherently the way that Nintendo work is that they work in their own vacuum, don't they? They don't work like everybody else. So you just buy a Nintendo. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But if they can get what is needed for everybody to be happy in a streaming service, then I think they will go towards that. But I honestly feel that's the kind of way that Microsoft are moving anyway, by doing Game Pass, because they don't care about their consoles, and they've stated that. They've said we just want you to get Game Pass.
Yeah.
Get on your PC. And if they can work the infrastructure to then have the streaming stuff that works really well without having to have the console, then they'd probably do that, because I just think it's a bit too much effort, really.
Well, you think about it, if they manage to get a Game Pass app onto a Fire Stick, you imagine you can just buy some kind of stick that you just download the apps for, and you've got access to Game Pass, to your Sony, your PlayStation games.
Yeah.
Not maybe Nintendo at some point in the future, maybe not. But even like this Amazon ones, you've got hundreds of choices, and you just pay your subscription. It
just opens up a world of gaming for everyone, not just those that can afford it. And at the moment, this is the problem we have. Every time a new console is brought out, the amount of people, and I know this is a fact, the amount of people that go into debt just to buy that fucking console. I mean, there's still going to be people who can't afford £60. And that's the unfortunate and stupid reality that we're living in. But £60 is much more affordable to a lot of people. And whether certain people in society like it or not, gaming helps so many people relax, chill, make friends, all of the above,
You think about it, though. People are probably going to be able to look at that and go, do you know what? Maybe I haven't got £60 on me now, but give it a couple of months down the line.
It's much more attainable.
Yeah. It's a, if you was to look at 60 quid to 500 quid, that's without any games as well, that 500 quid.
Yeah.
You'd probably look at that and go, well, that's manageable. Even if it took me 3 months of putting a bit of money aside every week or something like that. Like, I had that within like 2-3 months.
And
that.
Yeah. You wouldn't have console wars for one. You could get both if you wanted to. You wouldn't have these console wars. You wouldn't have the issue of the fact that there was a chip shortage, and there has been for a good 3 years now, meaning that people can't get these consoles and stuff even when they want to. With the same with the Nvidia GTXs. My God, that was RTXs. All that shit. You wouldn't get that. There wouldn't be runs basically on this software this hardware. Everybody could get it.
Data miners can get all of the graphics cards they want.
Have the graphics cards. Go fuck yourselves and use them. Yeah. But yeah.
Actually fuck yourself with that graphics card.
Fuck yourself with the graphics card. Tingly.
Whatever you're into.
But yes, that's in fact.
I've just got a new one. It's like, that ain't gonna fit.
That's what she said. Lauren.
Hey.
Bit of lube on it, you're all right.
You mean thermal paste?
Yeah. It's quite warm up there, isn't it?
Oh no. We've just gone way off board. That was the news. That was the news. And you thought that was ranty. You got no idea, mate. So, my question, obviously, as the host, it was my question for the week. And I decided to do something a little bit different than usual this week. Because I
Change.
Bendy had a
Don't
panic,
like change.
absolute meltdown, nearly killed me. It's fine. I wanted to post a bit of a debate, not only for us, but for you guys at home. And you guys did answer us, and there were some great answers that came our way.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, great. We have content. So I posed the question for this debate, and this is not a leading question in any way, shape, or form. #S. Are media pre-reviews of games ruining the gaming experience for the general public? And when I say pre-reviews, I mean critics and very well-known YouTubers or content creators that get to play the game before everybody else and give us this definitive answer on whether this game is good or bad. Go. Just go. Somebody speak.
Not saying what the listeners said first. What the tweet said.
Well, the tweets. Yeah, what, you want to go for Twitter first? Or do you want to go for us? Okay, we're going to go for Twitter first. Well, Tempus, do you want to go with our very good friend Howling Crazy's answer?
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me just...
Because it was very detailed.
Log into the Twitter.
Oh, I've gone blurry.
Okay, cokes. Yeah, I left, pretended to leave, and then my light fell down, so it's all going crazy. Okay, so a good friend and long-time listener, Howling Crazy.
Howling.
Thanks, Howling.
He said, right, his take. I will literally read his message out. He said, my take on this week's question. Short answer, no. In my opinion, it helps with making that judgment. Is it worth investing my time and money? If it's a genre that interests you, you are more engaged with it and more interested and intrigued. 15 to 20 years ago, we were seeing reviewers critique or praise a game in a printed form. The digital age has just brought it to the forefront and more accessible and visible to the masses. Yeah, only thing I ask if there's so-called critics is that they are honest and don't just give it high ratings in order to get a good paycheck. Take Elden Ring, for instance. Highly rated among critics, yet not a game that interested me, so the critics haven't had a chance to spoil my taste or desire. Yet for the genre itself, the people that like it were more likely to be engaged by it. That was
very detailed
crazy
answer. I'm very much into it. I have thoughts on that, but I think we'll go to the next one. And so our next one was Mucka the Medic. Love you, Mucka. Mucka. And Mucka said, I often find content creators are often torn with bias. They're often sponsored when given an early access, which is true, they are. So they often promote more than the criticism and analysis. They don't really go that far with it. They not always the case, but often it paints a better picture, so they financially benefit from it. So basically, because they're getting paid to do this game early, they feel the need to maybe not tell the truth about the game. Either way. And then this goes on to say, gaming sites, depending on who they are, seem more trustworthy for me, as they seem to balance criticism and praise better by simply because they don't have financial gain and it isn't apparent to the person reviewing it. And I have a thought on this, actually, about critics. But again, we'll move on to somebody else before we ramble into ours. So the last one I think I'm going to read out before we get into ours is Deadshot, our lovely Deadshot, who we love so much. I love so much.
He was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he was our guest a few weeks ago. He was great. We love him. And Deadshot says, gaming sites can be so critical on small things that then brings their score down. For me, it's a game. If it's a game I'm interested in, I'll see what they say, watch some gameplay, and then I know if it's for me or not. There's been many games they review badly, but I've enjoyed. And I read those three out mainly because I think that they have a great range of all of like everybody's thoughts in. Now I'm going to kick this off.
Was there one from Noxy?
There was one from Noxy.
There was. I can get that one if you'd like.
You get that one because my screen has decided not to show me it. So I didn't forget you, Noxy. Says, Twitter just fucked up.
Love you, Noxy.
Noxy says, I think it's changed over the years. When I was younger, I would always buy magazines to see reviews, which never took away from the experience. But I find watching YouTube review can make it not want to purchase the game or even try it. So they have a different review actually to say like Bendy, I think.
Yeah.
Good answers, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think between all of them, they've kind of all branched into like good things and bad things, past ways of doing things, and the new way of doing things as well. So it's kind of set us up.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So
thanks for answering our question this week.
You've done our work for us. I'm going to start this off because it was my very leading question. Okay, and I know it's a leading question and there's a reason for it. I have a major issue with majoritively critic pre-reviews because and I think people don't realise this about it. The person playing the game on a critic review, IGN, PC Gamer, all of those, isn't necessarily somebody chosen who will like that game. And there has been several instances in the past, several hundreds, in fact, I'm being ridiculous, it's hundreds, where they've shoved somebody onto a game who knows nothing about it, doesn't really care, has never played a game like it before, and just absolutely rips into it and slates it. Sure, you might not have liked that game, but you haven't seen the good parts of it, and you don't like, there will be somebody in that organization, for example, walking simulators, this always happens with walking simulators, who will like walking simulators, who will be able to play that game and say, this was good about it, but this wasn't so good about it. Instead, they've chucked somebody who only plays things like Mass Effect or fucking, you know, Halo, and chucked them into a walking simulator, and they've gone, this is a shit game, it's boring, I'm not killing anybody, they're just walking around. Yeah, duh, it's fucking walking simulator, and it happens all the time. And that is why I do not like critics pre-reviews. They don't do it justice. They have not sent somebody in there who will play that game and give it a good, fair review. And half the time they don't even say half the good stuff that's actually in the game. They just leave it all the negative shit.
So what Netta was trying to say, all publications should hire her to do the walking simulator reviews to get a fair review. Yeah?
Yes, but
Fair.
also it's a good example of publications. They have to have a broad range of gamers. Yes, you can have the people who love their Dark Souls. Yes, you should have somebody who loves their multiplayer games. Yes, you should have somebody who likes walking simulators. And yes, you should have people who, for whatever reason, like mobile games. There needs to be a variety. You cannot just have the same person playing all of these different types of games, because they will inevitably not like stuff that is actually perfectly fine. And that's why I don't like pre-reviews, because they put games down when they're perfectly good, and they do influence people. They stop people from buying that game on release. And what that causes is devs losing out on money, publishers going, well, that game sucked, we're not going to get a second one from you, and we're not going to work with you again, and that dev team goes under. Just because critics couldn't be asked to do their job properly.
On the opposite scale of things, though, sometimes I find that the review is being done by someone that predominantly loves that game maybe too much and will not see the flaws.
Ring.
Yeah.
Elden Ring.
Because
what? Sorry,
I've got a really bad cough.
Bad cough today, guys.
A prime example, because of the fact that it was lauded by critics before release, yet since then, since the public have had their hands on it, a lot of them are saying, yes, it is a very good game, probably will be game of the year, but it's probably like, it's not as good as you was making it out to be.
And I think that's probably an issue with the people they're hiring, again, to be critics. If you're a critic, you have to do your job properly, both ways.
Yeah.
To critique.
The thing is,
but then the argument there is, though, is, are they genuinely critiquing it, or are they sponsoring it? That's where the line needs to be drawn. If you're critiquing it and you're coming in as a critic and you're playing it to review that game, you need to go in and go, I think, like a lot of the people mentioned, they're skeptical of these because often they are given some kind of money to do that, and that might not be the case, but that is the view that people have. And if you're reviewing something well and then suddenly later it's coming out that actually it's probably not as good as you said, it's gonna lessen the impact of like those critics, if you get what I'm trying to get at.
Which brings us on to another very good point of critic reviews. Actually, on the flip side, they do stop people from buying games that actually should never have been released because they weren't finished properly yet. It was like Cyberpunk. Everyone was so excited for Cyberpunk, and yet actually there were a lot of critics that fucked it up because there were bugs, but it was still a fun game. But the amount of people went, not fucking buying this because everybody's saying there's bugs in it. Everybody's saying, every critic, every media publication, everything said there's bugs in it. And CD Projekt went, okay, sorry guys, yeah, we're going to have to put a massive patch out for this. So it does have its benefits. If
any of these critics played a Bethesda game, because
therein lies the point. But yeah, it's the thing that because the amount of people said there are bugs in this, do not get it, guys, wait. CD Projekt Red had to hold their hands up and become accountable for the fact that they fucked up and they couldn't finish it on time. If the critics were not as scrupulous as that, and maybe could have been paid off a little bit, how many people would have bought that game with it being broken?
I think maybe the problem might be is reliance on pre-orders.
Yeah.
Let the public, if you're solely going to buy a game on what the critics are saying pre-review, then just wait. Just wait until the public's had their hands on it, and don't judge a game on just its pre-orders, because I don't feel like we should be forcing pre-orders in. Like, nothing's ever going to run out. The only reason why you would pre-order something in the past is because a certain amount of discs would be made on like opening weekend, or not discs, even further back then, cartridges.
Cartridges, yeah.
You get a certain amount of cartridges, so you'd have to pre-order. But that is not the way that our media works now. That's not the way the gaming works now. You can go on day one, say I'm not going to pre-order Wonderlands. I know I'm going to buy it, but I'll buy it on the day because that's when I get paid. So I can only afford it then. That's my bad. But what was the point in me pre-ordering it when I'm going to download it?
That's the thing.
Maybe for the pre-download, I don't know, but there's no reason to pre-order things anymore.
Well, they offer, like, even with downloadable things now, they offer like pre-order exclusive skins and things like that. But like at the end of the day, if it's just a skin, does it make it A, worth the pre-order, and B, probably worth the extra £10 to £15 that they want for that pre-order because it's got a skin on it?
It's a really good point.
Buy it later when
Bendy.
they do it in the season pass.
Yeah. It's a really good point.
And if you're like, I don't personally look at critic reviews because I don't. There are games out there that everybody hates and I fucking love. There are games out there that I hate that everybody loves. So, you know, my opinion is totally different to. I just don't want to play it, okay? But yes, Last of Us, prime example of a game that everybody loves. So I'm just like, I don't want to. Don't want you. My choice to want to play something is my choice. So I might be different. I'm not swayed by what critics say. I couldn't give a shit. It's the same with movies. If someone says a movie shit, I'll probably go and watch it because it's a waste of time, and I need all of those apparently. But there are some really janky films out there that I really enjoy that critics are like, this is the worst thing to ever be made. I'm like, has anyone seen Hubie Halloween? I mean, I thought it's fine. Anyway, back to games.
Yeah, no, well, I'm in the same thing with you there. Like, I don't really listen to reviews and that. I will be if I'm excited for something, then like I will take, for example, the Avengers game. When they first announced it, I was going to be all over that. Couldn't wait for it. And then obviously this is where the side of YouTube reviewers getting their hands on early copies, and then obviously doing like the first 20 minutes of a game or like the first hour or something like that. Obviously, and they have like was it NDAs and things like that, and like times when they can and can't upload videos for things because obviously they've got early access to it. But like, I was really excited for the Avengers, and it's like I watched a few of the videos hoping it was going to blow me away, and I just sat there and watched it, and I was just like, do you know what? I don't actually feel like I'm going to want to play this. It's not doing for me what I thought it would do. You know?
Yeah.
And I think kind of from my point of view, and like it's the same with Bendy, I don't really listen to things. And I think even Deadshot, his answer was kind of the same. It's he decides whether he wants to play a game or not. And then things like, rather than critics deciding like what they're saying sway me, watching a few videos or reading up on a few bits, that's what then further decides whether I'm definitely buying this or whether there's something quite not right about it that might put me off. And like I I'm thankful for the fact that I do have that early access to watch a little bit of a game to help me decide whether I'm going to like the gameplay or not. But I don't know. At the same time, do these people having these early copies, does that spoil it as well?
Well, it's always a certain amount. They can only show a certain amount generally. They're not allowed to show more than 30 minutes or whatever. I am the same with you, Tempest. I hold much more value in watching somebody play a certain amount of the game, even if it's just like a 30-minute tutorial at the beginning. I hold more value in that as a thing that sways me as to whether I'm going to like it or not, than some critic telling me whether they thought it was good or bad. The only problem is that obviously the short amount of time that YouTube as content creators get to show is going to be... Sorry, my door just opened for no reason. Cats. Ghosts. Who knows?
Oh my god, it's a reviewer.
It's a reviewer, they've come to kill me. No, it is a cat. She's just staring at me very, very scared. A game... Guest host. A game can change very... She's just destroying my house. I'm so sorry. A game can change very dramatically after that tutorial, very quickly. So it's never going to be a perfect example, but it's always going to show you a bit more than if you're just reading a block of text from a critic going, "Oh well, I like the sword going pointy, but I didn't quite like the sitting down." Right?
We're three people that don't need to jump on a bandwagon straight away. I mean, I'm playing a 22-year-old game which I've played multiple times, and I'm not even thinking about any new games that are coming out. So we may have a bit of a biased attitude, except for Wonderlands, but that's because I will spend my money on games of series that I enjoy. So I will always buy every single Zelda, no matter what, when it's released. We'll do that. I will likely buy every single Borderlands that comes out. Any Bethesda game, literally any Bethesda game, no matter what it is, whether it's Elder Scrolls, in the Elder Scrolls, I'll buy Starfield. I won't need to buy Starfield, I will keep. And I will buy Fallout games.
Fallout 76?
Those... I have played Fallout 76, but that is one game where I was swayed by what people were saying after it was released, but I didn't need to play it day one. The only game series I will play day one is Zelda. That's just me. And I do understand that games are so expensive nowadays that people really have to think about what they're buying and what they're spending their money on. And that is what critics' reviews can do. They can help them, I've got to make a choice of these two games. Okay, this one's a 9, this one's a 7. I'm probably likely going to go to the 9 because that's going to be worth more. My money's worth more out of this from what they've said. However, the things that we've been saying, that 9 might actually be a 7 for that person, and the 7 might have actually been a 9. So cats. Hello. So I think critics can be helpful, but also as a consumer, one, don't buy into pre-orders. Don't do that. Give it time. If you buy it day one, brilliant, but then don't complain because it's not quite what you expected because of what critics have said. You can't do that. If we stop pre-ordering, that could change the landscape of how things are treated when it comes to, like Nettie was saying earlier about developers going under because they didn't earn enough money through what critics had said because people weren't buying their games or pre-ordering the games. Or maybe they need to then give a bigger time frame to earn a certain amount of money to keep on their budgets or whatever it is behind the scenes so that they can carry on as a business. Because then, that word of mouth of people that actually really enjoy those games are coming out a little bit later on, but they are still making sales. So that still earns the money. And I reckon some of these companies that have gone down in the situations that you were talking about, Nettle, is there probably still people out there buying those games. They're probably only costing £2 now, but still, that's... Imagine if they had an extra year to just build up a little bit more income. But then again, I'm not. I don't understand the finance side of gaming to know why that's gone under. But
yeah,
there's probably a load of different factors. But what I feel like the numbers are for those sort of things is this is what you'll get pre-order, this is what you'll get opening weekend. Done.
Yeah, I mean,
then they also don't think about
yeah,
if you have to do refunds, like in Cyberpunk territory.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is like, if you think about the amount of games and media of any kind, film, TV, that goes like, I don't want to say cult, but it's like a cult classic after a certain amount of time, because actually it was very much enjoyable, even though when it came out at the time, it wasn't what the critics perceived as really good. And it's like, I think you have to realize that just because one person says, who might be in a seat of power for whatever reason, just because one person says, actually, this is really bad, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to agree with them. And if you want to play a game, you've been looking forward to it, and then one or two critics come out and well, actually, blah, blah, blah. Maybe just try it. Maybe just buy it and try it. Steam does have a refund policy for a certain amount of time, or below a certain amount of playthrough hours.
Every digital download should have that.
Yeah, I agree. I know it's a bit shitty on the...
I feel like that should...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like... But yeah, we were just about to say it's a bit shitty for the devs.
It is, but at the same time, you have a right...
than not buy it at all.
Yeah, you have a right for pretty much every product to send it back within a certain amount of time if it's not what you perceived as what it should have been. And I'm sorry, it's the same for games. Because of how much you pay for them, often beforehand, bringing the pre-order thing in, playing it for a certain amount of time, and you're going, well, actually, I don't really like this, you should be able to get a refund.
Difficult with downloading, I think, knowing it, because I had this issue with PlayStation. I was buying Red Dead Online.
Oh, yeah.
To play with you and Bandit, not realizing that, or not, it's down to me. I didn't kind of ask where we were playing this game. And because I was mostly on my PlayStation, I assumed it was like a PlayStation thing. So I bought it on PlayStation, downloaded it, hadn't even logged into it. But because I downloaded it to my console, I was no longer able to refund this game.
Yeah.
So I've now got Red Dead.
I don't like that policy.
I've never played.
Yeah. If you've never played a game and you're refunding within a certain amount of time, they should be able to refund it.
I mean, I literally... I think I added it to my downloads. I hadn't even properly downloaded it to my console, but because it had been added to my downloads, it was too late by that point.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think there could be a caveat with this, as that if it's under a certain amount of money, then no, you can't get a refund on it, and that will help protect smaller game devs.
Yeah.
If it's a AAA game and it's costing you £50 and it's a pile of poo, then no, you should be able to get your money back. That's with everything. Like, if you bought a blender and it was rubbish, you'd get your money back on it. Why do AAA games have to be any different?
Yeah.
On the opposite side, if they allowed you to pay like 2 hours of the game, bring back demos. That's what I'm going to say.
Demos.
Bring back free demos.
That's where I was going.
So that you can play for 2 hours and you're like, actually, no, I'm going to buy this game. And because you've paid the demo, you get a 10% discount. Sweet. download that, done. Like, that's
This is the problem with AAA society, like AAA game society, is they go, everybody's going to buy our game, or a decent amount of people are going to buy our game. Screw you all, fucking buy it. And when they should be going, you know what? We're not really sure how well this is going to do. Let's put a certain amount of time demo out, like we used to, and see what happens.
Yeah. That's where I was gonna go. Like, leading back to kind of like Nogsy's answer, with the fact that he would buy magazines and read reviews and that. Those magazines would often come with a demo disc with like 7 or 8 games that you could try. Like, and like the thing is, with this day and age we're in now, with the fact that you can download things directly to your console, I barely see demos anymore at all. And like you said, they would probably get more pre-sales and at least definitely more sales from offering a demo, especially on the big AAA games, because that's the thing. People, especially with the price of them nowadays, you think about it, it's like £70 for a AAA game on the PlayStation 5 now. That's not a small layout. Give us like a mission. Give us something for us to get our hands on, for us to see what the gameplay's like, and then go, okay, this will be worth the £70. It's made me want to pay it. Or it'll be a case of, okay, this isn't going to be for me. But at least you're giving the consumer that option, rather than relying on the fact that critics have said your game's great, magazines have said your game's great or bad. You know, it's that way. You're relying on word of mouth from everyone on the internet. Just give people a 20-minute demo of your game. They will know whether they want to buy it or not from that, and you're probably going to get more sales from it that way too.
Yeah. Have a little link at the end. Buy our game.
Buy a game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they do it with, like I'm going to say for Borderlands, for example. I was playing through Borderlands, the pre-sequel, but in the main menu, there was all advertisements that pre-ordered Borderlands 3. Get Borderlands 3 here. And it's like when we was playing the Tiny Tina Wonderlands like one-shot thing. In the main menu, pre-order Tiny Tina's Wonderlands here. It's like they can offer you that there. You know, put it at the end of a 20-minute demo. You know, you haven't got to do it. But odds are, if someone was umming and ahhing whether to play the game, whether to pre-order the game, if they've played that demo, they're more likely going to go, especially in the heat of the moment, if they've really enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
They might go, yes, I'll have that. I'll pre-order that now.
We've done it recently with Hyrule Warriors. Didn't know whether it was going to be a game for me. They had a short demo where you did like the first mission. I was like, oh, I quite like this. I like the way it acts, and obviously it's Zelda adjacent. So I ended up buying it.
Yeah.
Because I did that. A game I haven't bought, but still want to buy because of their amazing demo. That demo was huge.
Oh, can you say that again? Sorry, Bendy. You cut out then. I didn't quite get that.
Big demo, Octopath Traveler.
Right.
Had a massive demo. It was about a 5-hour demo. I think for the one, and I played a bit of it, and I was like, I like this game, and I want to buy it. I haven't yet, but I will at some point. But yeah, just companies don't rely so much on pre-orders and give your consumers something, because you're going to get more out of that.
Yeah.
Demos.
Well, that's what I mean. If a lot of people are making a decision off of what critics are saying, like, and some people take their word for gospel as well. Like I said, your target audience are probably going to pay out for that more if you give them a little taste. Let them know what they're in for, and they'll probably go, yes. Especially if it's the people that love the games that you make and things like that. They're more likely going to buy the game anyway. But if you give them that 20-minute demo or a level or something, just for them to sink their teeth in it and want that game more, they're probably gonna
better.
Yeah.
Release the demo before the critics get their hands on the full game. If you want pre-orders, release a demo a few months before it's released, and get those salivas juicing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, I think this is one of them topics where it's going to be up and down, right and wrong.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Wherever there's going to be arguments either
no right
side of
or
it.
wrong answer to this particular question. There never will be, because circumstances will always be different for games. It's just a question that baits me every time, and I get very annoyed with it.
I mean, from what I've taken from this is bring back demos.
Yeah, I think that is actually the ultimate thing here, is bring back demos. People have to have demos for publishing purposes anyway. They have to have them. So, why not just put them out?
Yeah. I know you don't get that many anymore. I know there are demos on there.
I mean, but that's always a spectacle, isn't it? Whenever a demo comes out now, it's like, oh my God, that game's got a demo!
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is, if I'm being honest, I never check the demo section because I never expect anything to be there. But if your game's coming out and you basically advertise it coming out on this date,
demo on
the only, I mean, I know you get demos on Steam, but I think the only company that do it pretty well with that is Nintendo. Like, you look at their directs, they go, we've got this game coming out at this time, but you can download the demo to try right now.
So I have noticed on Game Pass, they have game previews. They've started to put previews up of games, like playable previews.
Yeah.
That's something that's happening.
See, that's good. Also, put more games on things like Game Pass, because people are going to download them even if they're shit, and play them for 20 minutes and go,
Bendy
was rubbish.
I mean, Bendy. Octopath Traveler's on the Game Pass, so...
I know.
But that's a good thing, because the developer gets a massive chunk of money for getting it on there, so they don't have to worry about this pre-sales or anything like that. If they know it's going on Xbox, that's a massive thing for a developer. Like, they know they're going to get a certain amount of money for that from Xbox. Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think we've solved critic.
Critics.
Let's do a demo.
Yeah.
Give us a call.
Don't give them a game.
Not you, Jeff Keighley.
Just give them a demo.
Just get a demo.
I mean, Jeff, you can call us if you want, but we
will answer. I will answer the phone. The other two might not, but I'll answer. I'll say hello.
Jeff. So
hey guys, Jeff Keighley's on the phone.
And play Elden Ring, right? That's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Bye.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you at this point, right? I've never been a Dark Soulsborne kind of player. I've watched a few people play it, but that's mostly because I've been in streams of the people I like and they're playing it. I was kind of interested with Bloodborne a little bit. I'd never play it because I'd be crap. I recently watched Jacksepticeye play through it again. He released a load of videos because I quite like the lore that's in this thing. This is what gets me, is lore rather than the game with things. But I've been watching a lot of Elden Ring and it does look good. I will give it that. It does look good. But I can tell you now, I would be fucking terrible at that game.
So the amount of people that I know who would never, ever, ever play a Souls game, ever, have never played Bloodborne, haven't even thought about it, have bought Elden Ring, and I'm like, so my other half is one of these examples. He has never played a Souls game ever. He's never played Bloodborne, never played anything like it. And the other week he was just like, I'm gonna get Elden Ring. I was like, you've never played a game like this before. Why are you wanting to? It looks really good. It looks like a Souls game. Yeah, it just looks really good. I'm like, so you've listened to the critics saying it's really good, and you're buying it because of that, because you've never wanted to.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, never wanted to before. Although I did watch him play a little bit yesterday. There was a giant crab. It was brilliant. There was also a tortoise that he killed. Don't tell Hole.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. It does look good, and I would like to try it. Just gonna put that out. I would like to try and play it at some point. Would it be in my end of the year games? I probably would say at this point I'd like to say no, purely because of the fact that it might look good. Yeah, I'd like to try it, but I just don't think it's still not going to be for me. I don't think
it's its own special award for the game that none of us are going to play ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it goes on Game Pass
next week again, I play Elden Ring.
We all know that is not happening.
I can only buy one.
I love you, Bendy.
I can only buy one game this month.
I love you, Bendy, but we all know that's not happening.
No.
So that was a good.
It's definitely not happening. I said, you wait. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Tiny Tina's Elden Ring.
Tiny Tina's Elden Ring. Oh my god, that sounds really dodgy.
Yes. Regret.
Instant regret.
Instant regret. And with that, I think that might be the end of this week's podcast. That was a good old debate there, wasn't it?
Very debated, yes.
Very debated. Thank you to everybody who contributed. We super appreciate it, because when you don't contribute, it is basically just a three saying stupid things, getting angry, and then stopping.
I mean, I think especially with the fact that this wasn't just here's a question, what would your answer be? This was more of a case of like, this is the thing. I think what we want from everyone as well is it doesn't necessarily need to be like an actual question. It could be a topic for discussion. And the fact that you get involved and help us with these answers and things, like with the 4 people that did answer our questions, they all gave us varied answers.
Really good answers. Really
as well. It wasn't like everyone was just agreeing and saying the same thing. Everyone had their own opinion, and all valid opinions as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of this. These are debates. We might get angry about certain things, but at the same
unless
time,
you're Bobby Kotick, you're fine. We're not going to get that angry at you.
No, we're not getting angry at you. It'd be it's like certain things within the topic.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you like, if people do like debating, I wonder if there might be a place that they could bring their debates to us personally without having to be on Twitter. And there is.
What?
Guys, we are
what is this place?
Officially opening up. See what we did there? We are officially opening up our Discord to anybody who wants to join. There will be links everywhere, literally everywhere. Join our Discord, talk to us, tell us what subjects you want to discuss, and discuss them with us. There are a whole heap of channels in there for everyone. There are also some channels you can't get into because we're still a podcast, so we have to talk about stuff.
Yes. No. It would be nice, especially like those that do interact with us. I think we'll probably see a lot of them coming. But if you've, like you said, a lot of people don't necessarily use social media, so maybe they have things they want to talk to us about. But
also, Twitter algorithm sucks.
Yep. But they might want to talk to us
from about 5 days ago today.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, no, it's awful. I'm getting tweets from like 3 days ago. But yeah, like if you don't use social media, but you still want to get involved, Discord is a very good way of doing that.
Place to chat.
But yeah, like Nettle said, there's a place for just general chat. There'll be places for any questions that you think would be interesting. There's a place for you to put your news in. You find any interesting news, throw it in there. Start a discussion.
Talk about it.
Topics. And we are thinking as well potentially of opening, maybe at certain points, doing like live Discord recording. So when we record this in a week, you can watch us do it live. Obviously, you won't be able to interact.
We will mute you.
Yeah, you will be muted, but you will be able to hear us. And at least, if you wanted to be part of it as it happens. But that'll be in the future. For now, just come and say hello in our Discord.
There's also a channel for Naked Tempus, but that's only for people who are a Patreon.
This channel is also not in this Discord.
Oh shit, that was the other
We're not
Discord
starting
chat.
a
Okay, oh shit.
Yeah, that's my own personal one.
OnlyFans.
That
It's,
one.
it's literally the only channel in it.
Any bugs?
Yeah.
Send the link, yeah?
I thought
Yes.
it was in there.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Oh,
Like
there
I
you
said,
are.
there he
Yeah.
is. Yes, it's over there.
Yeah.
No, there will be links everywhere. Don't worry, we're going to spam the shit out of this because this is the
Yeah.
thing at the moment. This is the thing.
We want, like, as much as we do all the discussing and the talking and every week, we do want this to be like a community kind of discussion thing, and we like the fact that you do get involved with us on Twitter, as being our main focus at the moment, obviously, because it's just easier to talk to people. But you know, if you can talk to us at any time and it's directed to us rather than hoping that, you know, Twitter's nice about something, because to be fair, we've had it on occasions where we've tweeted out and, like, even with us retweeting, no one sees it.
No.
So, you know, it is difficult at times, but obviously with the Discord, you'll be directing straight to us. We'll be there all the time. I mean, I don't work. I sit at home all day. I'll be there to answer. So
I now have Discord at work, so...
Yeah, me too. So I may show as the little red line all the time, but I'm still there. I'm still watching you.
always watching.
Always watching, Wazowski.
Always watching, Wazowski.
But the takeaway is, come join our Discord.
Join our Discord!
Join our Discord!
Please.
And with that, Bendy, tell everybody where they can find you.
In our Discord. You'll be able to find us in our Discord. That's the big one right now. I like Discord. Discord is great. But I am also on all of the other social medias where the algorithm is so bad that you're not going to see me tweet about putting my kettle in my fridge. As Bendy Ben's costuming. That's where me is. And I'm gonna put it here now. I might be doing something, adding some content to the YouTube. So this is my call to arms for you guys to make sure that I finish my project. Okay.
Wonderful. Watch out for that, everybody. Tempus, where are we
Yes.
finding you?
My home address is you can find me everywhere on the internet at Tempusbe.
Wonderful. And I have been Nettlecreates, and you can find me everywhere, even in your ceiling, just watching down of you. I'm Ceiling Nettle as Nettlecreates. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching.
Thanks for wearing a skirt.
You're welcome. That derailed. Thanks for everybody for watching, and we will see you all again next week. Oh God! Bye, everyone. Oh shit, Craig, what are you doing over there? That's so weird.